So, have you ever stood out in your front yard, pointed right at the building, and casually said, "That is my house"? I mean, we all do it, right? It's something we do every single day. We use this kind of property language incredibly casually in our everyday lives, just to describe the physical spaces we occupy. But the law actually asks a much, much deeper question. When you point and say mine, what exactly is the property? Is it literally just the dirt? Is it the building sitting on top of it, the fixtures inside? And what if someone else entirely owns the minerals below ground, or a bank has a lien on the title? Today, we're going to crack open the central mystery of the invisible legal structure that exists completely behind the physical dirt. Welcome to This Explainer. Let's demystify real property once and for all so you can truly protect your interests. Because honestly, a misunderstanding of what you actually own can lead to some absolutely disastrous legal and financial mistakes. Okay, here's our agenda for today. 1. More than just physical dirt. 2. Land improvements and fixtures. 3. Possession is not ownership. 4. Demystifying titles and deeds. 5. The bundle of rights. And 6. The ultimate property question. Let's jump into Section 1, more than just physical dirt. It's time to break the dirt illusion. The absolutely crucial point here is that real property isn't just the physical dirt you stand on. Not at all. It is an intricate web of legally recognized relationships. Think of it as a legal structure built around land, sure, but also around attachments, possessory estates, future interests, liens, and even legal remedies. We really have to stop thinking of property purely as a tangible object and start visualizing it as a complex network of rights and duties connected to that land. Moving right along to Section 2. Land, improvements, and fixtures. Let's peel back the physical layers. This brilliantly illustrates why a simple street address just doesn't cut it in the eyes of the law. I mean, an address is a great handy label for the post office or for your friends to find where you live, but the law requires a highly precise legal description. We're talking things like metes and bounds or specific lot and block numbers. You absolutely need this precise description on deeds, mortgages, and tax records to avoid catastrophic title defects. If a deed accidentally conveys the wrong parcel just because someone relied on a sloppy shorthand street address, you could be in massive legal trouble. So once we've properly identified the land itself, we have to look at what's actually attached to it. And that brings up a really fascinating question. Is it a fixture? This is basically the ultimate bridge concept between personal property, which is movable, and real property. A fixture is an item that might have started out as personal property, but over time, it became legally treated as part of the real estate. Now, courts don't just guess when they're trying to determine if personal property has legally merged with the real estate. They use a very specific analysis. They're going to ask, is it physically attached to the land or the building? Can it be removed without causing substantial damage? Was it custom adapted to the property's use? Did the parties actually intend for it to remain permanently? And of course, what does state law or the deed say? This checklist is exactly how bitter disputes in foreclosures or probate court get settled when people are fighting over who gets to keep what. Just look at the contrast here. Things like built-in cabinets, HVAC systems, plumbing fixtures, and attached lighting, those are legally treated as part of the house. They have officially crossed that bridge into real property. But loose living room furniture, portable equipment, vehicles, or freestanding electronics, those remain personal property. Understanding this difference is absolutely vital because buyers and sellers will literally go to war over these exact items during real estate transactions. But hey, we can't just look up at the building, we have to look down too. This surface estate is completely different from the mineral estate. Never ever assume that just because you own the surface of the land, you automatically own the subsurface wealth, like coal, oil, or gas. No way. In many jurisdictions, those mineral rights can be completely severed. So you might own the grass you're mowing, while a mining company legally owns everything underneath it. Always check the deed record. All right, Section 3, possession is not ownership. The right to occupy versus the right to own. We have to separate actual physical occupation from the legally recognized right to possess. They are simply not the same thing. Actual possession just means you are physically standing there occupying the space. But the legal right to possess, that's entirely different. A tenant with a lease has the legal right to possess the property, even though they definitely don't own it. On the flip side, a squatter or a trespasser might have actual physical possession, but they have absolutely zero legal right to be there. Possession is a powerful thing, sure, but it does not equal ownership. Okay, Section 4, demystifying titles and deeds, the piece of paper versus the legal status. Think of it like this. The deed is just the vehicle, and the title is the destination. The deed is simply the instrument. It's the literal piece of paper that transfers an interest from one person to another. Title, however, is the actual legal status confirming that you hold ownership. A deed is evidence that helps establish your title, but it is not the title itself. And here is a pretty harsh reality in property law. Record title, meaning what the public records actually say, is not necessarily perfect title. Marketable title has to be constantly tested. Why? Because public land records can hide incredibly dangerous defects. There could be forged deeds lurking in the chain, unreleased liens from previous owners, or completely missing assignments. Just having a piece of paper with your name on it doesn't mean your legal status is bulletproof. Let's dive into Section 5, the bundle of rights. This is where we slice the property pie.
You see, ownership is almost never just one single, solid, undivided thing. It's more like a bundle of sticks, or a pie that can be sliced up in all sorts of ways. You can have fee simple ownership, which is the broadest, most complete kind. But you can also slice off leasehold interests for renters, or co-ownership interests for partners, or trust interests. Think about a homeowner named David. David has possession and ownership, but his lender simultaneously holds a security interest, a mortgage lien, against that exact same property. That is multiple legally recognized rights existing at the exact same time.
Let's look at how this actually works with a quick real-world example to show how property ownership can literally be sliced up by time itself. Say a deed gives a property to Angela for life. Angela possesses it during her lifetime. That's called a life estate. Meanwhile, Marcus holds a remainder future interest. He legally owns an interest right now, today, even though Marcus only gets actual possession after Angela passes away. Angela cannot destroy Marcus's future interest. The ownership is beautifully legally divided. Finally, Section 6, the ultimate property question. This is where every single analysis begins. So when it comes down to it, there are 7 incredibly common and often disastrous mistakes that people make when analyzing real estate. For example, assuming a trust magically owns a house just because a trust document exists, without anyone ever actually recording a deed transfer into that trust. You have to properly transfer the property to get the protection. It is absolutely vital to dismantle these dangerous assumptions. Thinking possession equals ownership. Thinking a title means absolutely no one else has rights. Thinking a deed proves everything. Ignoring severed mineral rights or ignoring fixtures. Treating ownership as if it's completely unlimited. This whole list completely proves that while ownership is an incredibly powerful concept, it is strictly limited by laws, liens, taxes, and other competing rights. So before you ask how to stop a foreclosure or how to remove a lien or how to sue a noisy neighbor, you must ask the ultimate foundational first question. What exact property interest exists and who holds it? Start right there. Decode the legal structure. If you look beyond the physical dirt, you will understand property in a way most people never will. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I want to leave you with this. Look around your own home today and ask yourself, what invisible legal strings are attached to the space you're in right now?